Hi, today I want to talk to you about the ColumnStore index in SQL Server 2012. Simply, Microsoft introduced a new type of index with using column, as the older normal indices that the clustered and unclustered were, as we say, the row store index. As you can see in this very simple diagram, that row store index is stored in a form of rows with all the columns inside each page. Each page contains many rows. But the new ColumnStore index is simply each page contains a part of columns. How this is useful? It's useful simply for many reasons. One of the reasons is the compression. Column is the same data type, so doing a compression on varchar or integers will do it very efficiently, so will reduce the time of the space that's stored on the disk, so the scans is little. Also, many times you don't select everything in your fact table or in your big table. You select only simple few columns. So that's why you can scan the index for a fewer part like C1, C2, C3 instead of in the row index scanning all the pages to get the data. Is it useful or just a paper that's writing this? Let's see together. Okay, so I have a couple of tables, orders and order details, and simply I have another copy of this table which is C order and C order details. Let's make sure that now the counts are 6,000,000.7 and 4,000,000.4. We will do a simple select distinct from user from orders where order ID in select distinct order ID. A very simple statement. Let me in the first free the cache just to make sure everything is coming from the reads, nothing coming from the memory. So after freeing the cache, I have a simple statement that select distinct shape name from orders where the order ID in the order details. So let's start executing this statement, and as we can see it will take some time. Meanwhile, in the same copy of order and order details that I named them C order and C order details, let's create the ColumnStore index. So by going to the table indices and right click new index, we will find a new index. It's called non-clustered ColumnStore index. We'll click on it. And give me the name for the index. I will say the same, and I will add all the columns. The thing is that one key thing is to choose all the columns for the tables for your ColumnStore index, because if you didn't choose all the columns and you have a query for a column that's not in the index, you will go back to the wrong mode. So I'm creating now the index on the C orders. Meanwhile, my query returned in 47 seconds. So executing this query that gives me the 90 rows barely took 1 minute. Okay, my index has been created here, that as I can see it. Let me start doing freeing the cache again and execute the same query but with the table with the column index. And bang, the 90 rows came in 11 seconds, although without the index 47 seconds. By the way, I only created the index for the orders, I didn't create it for the order details. So you can imagine if we have the same cluster ColumnStore index on the order details, I believe it will even boost the performance much better. This is the compression, and this is the difference that we can see here. Just one thing I want to tell you about that. When you started, when I created the ColumnStore index on the order tables, now the C order tables is read only. If I try to insert in this table, simple insert, As we can see here, the error message insert statement failed because data cannot update it in the table with the ColumnStore index. So after creating the ColumnStore index, now your table has read only. So you only need, what you need is drop the index if you want to dump the data, then create your index. Last thing to remember with me in the ColumnStore index, put ColumnStore index on large tables only, include every column of the table so that any query will use this index. Structure your queries as a star join with grouping and aggregation as much as you can possible. And don't remember the 4 avoids. Avoid joining string filters on the columns. Avoid using the outer join, it gets back to the row mode. Avoid the not in, and avoid the union all, because both of three go back with you to the row mode, so you are not using your ColumnStore index. Thank you. Wish you it's useful.